Reality is not the master, it is the servant. The stage of life does not write its own script. It only performs the words spoken in the silence of your assumption. Every experience you live today once lived in the hidden corridors of your mind. What you accept inwardly, even casually, reality is compelled to shape into form. Your assumption is a decree. It does not wait for permission, it creates the path. When you occupy a state of consciousness, whether of abundance, success, love, or lack, the outer world is powerless to refuse it. Reality must obey the tone of your inner certainty. It may disguise its obedience through delays or appearances of resistance, yet all such resistance is only a shadow of your own doubt. The moment faith stands firm, shadows dissolve. It is not effort that wins, but assumption. You do not need to push the river. You only need to believe it flows in your favor. The conviction that it is so rearranges events, circumstances, and even people to confirm your decree. What the senses deny and reason rejects will still yield to assumption when you persist. Reality bends quietly, sometimes invisibly, until the moment it bursts into visibility. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible feels natural, as if it could never have been otherwise. That is the secret of assumption. It transforms miracles into inevitabilities. Do not measure with the yardstick of the outer world, for the outer is always late. Instead, dwell in the invisible fact, the inner knowing, and refuse to leave that state. When you live in the end, reality must obey, for it has no choice. It is law. So I tell you, your assumption is the prophecy of your future. If you wish to change your world, do not wrestle with appearances. Simply assume the new reality. Persist in it, and reality will have no choice but to obey. Imagination is not a passing thought or a fleeting daydream. It is the very workshop of creation, where reality takes its shape. Every event that unfolds before you, every circumstance that surrounds you, is born from the secret chambers of your imagination. What you assume inwardly, what you accept as true in the silence of your mind, does not remain confined within. It presses outward until it hardens into fact, and you meet it as the so-called external world. The outer is nothing more than the echo of the inner, the shadow cast by the light of your assumptions. To imagine is not to escape reality, but to govern it. When you see yourself in possession of the desired outcome, when you dare to believe in the unseen as already real, you plant the seed from which your future must spring. Life has no choice but to conform to that vision. It may appear as if imagination is powerless compared to the brute facts of the world, but it is in truth the only power that creates and sustains those very facts. It's important. The chair you sit upon, the home you live in, the work you perform, all were once invisible imaginations in the mind of someone who dared to believe. The act of assumption is the secret key. To assume is to clothe the invisible with the feeling of reality, to walk in the world inwardly convinced that what you desire is already accomplished. This inner acceptance creates a vibrational command that the outer world must obey. You may not see the mechanism by which it operates, yet its operation is law. Circumstances shift, people move, and opportunities arise, all orchestrated by the unseen hand of your assumption. The tragedy is that most imagine unconsciously. They accept fear as fact. They dwell on limitations. They rehearse failure in their inner conversations. And then they wonder why life offers them hardship. They do not see that reality has only mirrored the content of their imagination. Yet the same principle that creates lack will just as faithfully create abundance when you redirect it by choosing to imagine wisely, to assume the best, to feel the truth of your desire already fulfilled. You turn the tide of your destiny. Imagination does not ask whether you deserve. It only delivers what you persist in assuming. The moment you claim within that you are healthy, prosperous, loved, or successful, you are rewriting the script that life must perform. Hold that assumption with persistence. Let it saturate your mind and emotions, and the outer world is compelled to echo it back. It may come swiftly or gradually, but it cannot fail, for imagination is the creative cause. Do not take your inner world lightly. Guard the images you entertain. Cherish the visions that uplift you, and refuse to dwell in states that contradict your desire. For what you imagine with faith today will rise up as your lived reality tomorrow. Imagination is not idle fantasy, it is creation itself, and what you assume within must one day walk before you as fact. Assumption is the true beginning of every manifestation. Long before a dream becomes visible, long before a result appears in the world of senses, it is born in the quiet chambers of consciousness as an inner acceptance. Life does not unfold according to effort, struggle, or striving, but according to the invisible convictions we hold as true. When you assume something with certainty, you give it permission to solidify in form, for assumption is the seed from which manifestation grows. Without the seed, no harvest is possible, no matter how much labor is applied in the fields. Effort has its place in the physical realm, but it is secondary, never primary. A person can toil endlessly and yet remain bound in frustration if inwardly they carry the conviction of failure. On the other hand, another may act with ease, even lightly, yet see doors open before them because inwardly they have assumed success as their natural state. The difference lies not in the amount of work done, but in the unseen posture of consciousness. Effort without conviction is like rowing against the current, exhausting and unrewarding. But assumption with conviction is like placing your vessel in the stream of power that carries you effortlessly forward. Assumption is not idle wishing. It is not daydreaming without substance. It is the inner act of claiming a state as real and allowing it to color your feelings, thoughts, and responses. When you assume health, you carry yourself as though health were already yours. When you assume abundance, you respond to life from the awareness of already having enough. This inner certainty attracts circumstances that reflect the assumption, for life has no choice but to mirror the truth you have inwardly accepted. So this kind of manifestation is never accidental. What appears as chance or coincidence is only the outward echo of what has been assumed inwardly. Even delays, detours, and difficulties are not random. They are the shadow play of conflicting assumptions. If you wish to transform your world, do not wrestle with appearances, but change the assumption that precedes them. By adopting a new conviction, you plant a new seed, and in time the harvest must appear. The world teaches us to fight harder, push longer, and strain further. Yet this is the way of futility. if the inner conviction remains unchanged. True transformation begins not with effort, but with the invisible act of assumption. When you occupy the state of the wish fulfilled, life bends to serve you. People are moved, opportunities arrange themselves, and what once seemed impossible becomes natural. It is not force that produces this, but faith in the unseen reality already secured in consciousness. Tend carefully to what you assume. Let conviction precede every step you take, and let your consciousness rest in the end already attained. When you live from that place, manifestation is inevitable. Effort may follow as a joyful expression, but it is assumption that opens the way, and life cannot help but yield to the conviction you hold. The unseen governs all that is seen, for the outer world is nothing more than the visible reflection of the invisible state of mind. Every circumstance, every relationship, every so-called accident in life is secretly ordered by the assumptions and convictions held within. Though it may appear that events unfold randomly or that other people determine your fate, the truth is that your inner state silently commands the state of life. The world is a mirror, obedient to the impressions impressed upon it by consciousness. Your state of mind is not neutral. Each thought, belief, and feeling is a creative cause, sending out an unseen command that arranges circumstances to harmonize with it. If you live inwardly in a state of fear, the world must bring forth reasons to confirm that fear. If you dwell in lack, opportunities for more lack will inevitably appear. But when you persist in the unseen conviction of abundance, peace, or success, life bends itself to make your invisible state visible. The unseen does not wait for proof. It is the root from which the branches of your outer world grow. This is why mere effort, logic, or external control often fail. One may try to manipulate conditions or force results, yet if the inner state contradicts the effort, the unseen will always prevail. A person may attempt to attract wealth, but if inwardly they live in poverty consciousness, their efforts collapse or bring fleeting results. Conversely, someone who inwardly assumes wealth will find it manifest through channels unforeseen, often with minimal struggle, because their inner command was certain. The unseen shapes the path, moving people, events, and even so-called chance encounters to fulfill the state already established within. The great secret is to take control of your inner world, for it is the only true cause of change. By deliberately occupying the state of mind that matches your desired outcome, you send forth a silent decree that reality must obey. This inner state does not shout or struggle, it simply exists, and the outer world, being powerless to resist, rearranges itself to reflect it. When you live in the end, when you feel as though your desire is already realized, you step into alignment with the law that governs creation. It is tempting to measure life by appearances, to believe that what is seen is the cause, yet the seen is always late, always a shadow of what was previously assumed in the unseen. To argue with appearances is to fight with an echo. The wiser course is to change the sound that produces it. By shifting your inner state, the echo of life must also shift. Thus, if you desire transformation, withdraw attention from the chaos of circumstances and turn inward to the unseen. Cultivate the state you wish to experience outwardly and persist in it with quiet certainty. The invisible will not remain hidden for long. it will solidify into the visible, and you will see before you the undeniable evidence that the unseen always controls the seen. Persistence is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. To assume a state once is not enough. The outer world often lingers in its old form, echoing past assumptions. Many give up too quickly, mistaking delay for denial. But the truth is simple. The world bends only to the one who remains faithful, the one who refuses to abandon the inner vision no matter what appearances suggest. Persistence in assumption builds certainty, and certainty is the invisible magnet that draws the outer world into harmony with your inner state. Every assumption is like a seed planted in the soil of consciousness. A seed requires time, care, and consistency before it rises into visibility. To dig it up in doubt or to abandon it in impatience is to cancel its growth. Yet to water it daily with faith, to persist in seeing it as already accomplished, ensures its inevitable fulfillment. The law cannot be broken. Persist, and the seed must bear fruit. The senses are often the greatest enemy of persistence. They scream with evidence of lack. They parade facts that contradict your desire. They demand that you believe what is seen rather than what is unseen. But persistence requires a deeper loyalty, to remain unmoved by the temporary, to anchor yourself in the conviction that your inner vision is more real than the shifting world outside. Each time you return to your assumption, each time you reaffirm it in the face of contradiction, you strengthen the roots of certainty. Certainty does not come at once. It grows through persistence. At first, the assumption may feel fragile, like pretending, yet the more you inhabit it, the more natural it becomes. Soon, the inner state no longer feels like a possibility, but a fact. And when you reach that point, when your desire feels as real inwardly as anything you see outwardly, the world has no choice but to reflect it. This is why persistence is the secret of transformation. The outer world is slow to change because it is only a reflection of prior convictions. But when you hold steadfastly to a new assumption, reality must eventually bend to it. Appearances may resist, circumstances may seem stubborn, but they are powerless against unwavering inner faith. They are only shadows of an old belief, and shadows vanish when the light of persistence shines long enough. To persist is to refuse to abandon your vision, to dwell daily in the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your natural dwelling place. When this state becomes normal inwardly, life cannot help but mirror it outwardly. The world may delay, but it cannot deny. The moment you persist long enough for assumption to harden into certainty, manifestation is inevitable. Hold fast to your vision. Do not measure by appearances. Do not surrender to doubt. Persist in your assumption until you feel its truth, and the world will bend. For persistence in assumption is the law that makes the invisible visible. Obstacles are never what they appear to be. What the world presents as resistance is not an immovable wall, but only the faint shadow of old beliefs. Life has no power to oppose you except through the reflection of the assumptions you once held. When you embrace a new vision and begin to live from it, the old reflection may still linger, casting shadows of difficulty, delay, or contradiction. Yet shadows have no substance. They cannot stop the light. They only signal that the light is already shining. In the same way, outer resistance is powerless before the strength of unwavering belief. When you assume a state with conviction, reality is already in motion to fulfill it. The so-called obstacles that appear along the way are not proof of failure but evidence of transition. They are the remnants of prior assumptions dissolving as the new state takes form. Many become discouraged at this stage, surrendering their vision to appearances. But the wise understand that resistance is only the echo of what once was, and echoes fade when the voice that created them is silent. By refusing to yield to fear, by holding firm to belief, the shadow of resistance vanishes and the new reality stands revealed. Consider how the sun dissolves the night. Darkness may seem overwhelming, but it is never permanent. The moment light persists, darkness retreats. Likewise, unwavering belief is the light that dispels the illusion of obstacles. You do not need to fight shadows, you only need to remain faithful to the vision you hold. Every seeming challenge, every delay, every rejection loses power when you see it for what it truly is, a temporary appearance with no substance of its own. The outer world reflects your inner certainty. When belief wavers, resistance grows larger because the shadow is magnified by doubt. But when belief is steady, when you refuse to be moved, resistance shrinks until it dissolves altogether. This is why it is said that faith moves mountains, not because the mountain has real power to block you, but because unwavering faith strips it of illusion. The mountain was never solid. It was always only a shadow cast by disbelief. Every great transformation requires persistence in the face of apparent obstacles. The world will test your resolve, not because it holds power over you, but because the remnants of old assumptions still echo in form. When you choose not to accept them as final, when you refuse to be intimidated by appearances, you rise above them. In that steadfastness, the shadows vanish, and the reality of your assumption emerges in clarity. Meet resistance with calm assurance. Do not fight, do not despair, do not yield. See it for what it is, a passing illusion without strength. Anchor yourself in the conviction that your inner vision is already true, and no shadow can withstand the light of unwavering belief. Obstacles fade, illusions dissolve, and reality reshapes itself, for the outer world cannot defy the strength of faith that refuses to surrender. Reality does not govern you, it serves you. What you hold as conviction within is the true master, and the outer world is nothing more than its obedient servant. Many believe they are at the mercy of circumstances, that life is dictated by chance, effort, or the decisions of others. Yet this is a misunderstanding of the law of creation. The world does not operate independently. It reflects the command given to it by your inner state. The moment you assume and remain faithful to that assumption, reality has no choice but to obey. Conviction is not mere wishing, it is the inner knowing, the quiet acceptance that something is already so. When you take an assumption and clothe it with feeling, when you dwell in it until it becomes natural, you are writing the script that life must perform. The outer world may delay, it may rearrange itself slowly, but it cannot deny what has been established in conviction. Reality has no creative power of its own. It is only a mirror, and a mirror cannot reflect anything except what stands before it. This is why fleeting thoughts or casual wishes often fail to manifest. They are not convictions, but passing clouds. Only when you assume and remain, when you hold steadily to the inner vision regardless of appearances, does reality receive the command it must obey. Your persistence communicates certainty, and certainty is the language creation responds to. Life cannot resist conviction, it must bend to it, for conviction is the true lawgiver of experience. Think of a stage play. The actors do not decide their own lines, they follow the script. In the same way, circumstances and people in your life are compelled to play the parts assigned to them by your inner conviction. If you assume rejection, life will find a way to deliver it. If you assume favor, doors will open where none seemed possible. The power does not lie in the outer, but in the conviction that directs it. Remaining in assumption requires discipline. The senses will attempt to pull you away, showing you evidence that contradicts your desire. Yet those appearances are only reflections of older convictions, already fading. If you abandon your assumption too soon, you reinforce the old reflection and delay the fulfillment of the new. But if you remain faithful, returning again and again to the state of the wish fulfilled, reality is forced to align. It cannot do otherwise, for it is not the master, but the servant. This is the great secret. You need not beg reality to change, nor struggle to manipulate it. You need only decide inwardly what is true, assume it with conviction, and remain there. Life will take care of the rest. Paths will open, people will appear, events will shift, all in obedience to the unseen decree of your consciousness. Reality has no freedom of choice. It is bound to serve the conviction you hold. And when you persist in that conviction, the world must obey. In conclusion, the thread that unites all truth is simple yet profound. Imagination shapes reality. Assumption precedes manifestation. The unseen commands the seen. Persistence transforms vision into certainty. Resistance is but a shadow, and conviction is the law that reality must obey. Life does not stand apart from you, it bends in perfect obedience to the state you occupy within. When you choose to live in the end, to hold fast to the invisible with unwavering faith, the visible has no choice but to yield. Your world is not a stranger to your desires, it is their servant. Guard your assumptions, remain steadfast in belief, and you will find that reality continually arranges itself to reflect the truth you have claimed. Thank you. Each morning, as the first rays of light break through the night, you are given a sacred moment, a doorway into infinite possibilities. This is the hour where heaven touches earth, where the seeds of triumph are sown. If you choose, this moment can set the course of your day and life toward unwavering victory. Prayer is the key to this door. Not empty words or desperate pleas, but prayer spoken with conviction. Speak boldly as one who knows that what they desire is already theirs. Thank you, Lord, for the victory you have secured for me today. Thank you for the strength to overcome every obstacle. I walk in abundance, peace, and power, for these are your promises to me. God's promises are eternal, unchanging, and alive. I will never leave you nor forsake you. You are more than a conqueror. These words are not mere encouragement, they are spiritual laws. When you claim them as your own, you align yourself with the will of the divine. But claiming promises is not enough. You must see them fulfilled in your imagination. Before the battle begins, the victory must be won in the mind. Picture yourself walking boldly into every challenge. See the obstacles parting before you. Feel the joy of triumph as though it has already happened. Gratitude is the power that multiplies your blessings. Start your morning not with complaints or doubts, but with thanksgiving. Even before the day unfolds, thank God for what you are about to receive. Thank you for the doors you are opening, for the peace that fills my heart, for the abundance that flows to me. Gratitude transforms prayers from wishes into reality. Walk into your day with faith unshaken. Fear is a thief. It steals the joy of the moment and blocks the flow of blessings. But faith is the key that unlocks every promise. When doubts whisper, silence them with affirmations of truth. God is for me, so nothing can stand against me. This morning as you rise, know that you hold the power to unlock victory. Speak life, visualize your triumph, claim God's promises, and walk boldly into the day. You are not hoping for victory, you are living it. Each morning is a gift, a sacred opportunity to align with the divine promises that are ever present and waiting to unfold in your life. It is not just the start of a new day, but a portal through which you can step into a reality filled with blessings, triumphs, and untapped potential. How you choose to begin your morning shapes not only the hours that follow, but also the trajectory of your life. The morning is not a passive transition from night to day, it is a divine threshold, an opening where the infinite meets the finite and where your faith and intentions have the power to create your reality. The stillness of the morning is unlike any other time. Before the world awakens and distractions take hold, there is a purity in the atmosphere, a calmness that invites connection with the divine. This sacred moment is an offering, a reminder that you can start anew. Regardless of the challenges of yesterday, each morning brings a fresh canvas. It whispers of renewal, beckoning you to leave behind the mistakes, doubts and fears of the past and step forward with hope, confidence and faith. In this quiet hour, you have the unique ability to direct your thoughts and align your spirit with God's promises. These promises are not hidden or reserved for a select few, they are abundant and available to all who dare to claim them. Promises of peace, provision, healing and victory are written in the divine law, waiting for you to embrace them. But to do so, you must make the morning your sacred time to connect with these truths. This connection is not just about asking for blessings, it is about affirming and believing that they are already yours. Consider the morning as the planting ground for your day. Just as a farmer sows seeds in fertile soil, your thoughts, prayers, and declarations in the morning are the seeds that will bear fruit throughout the day. When you speak words of faith and gratitude, you set into motion the spiritual forces that align circumstances in your favor. Declare with boldness, today is a day of victory. God's hand guides my steps, and everything I need flows to me with ease. Such affirmations are not mere words, they are creative acts, shaping the unseen into the tangible. But to truly unlock the power of the morning, you must recognize its sacredness and approach it with intention. Many rush into the day, distracted by tasks and overwhelmed by the demands of life. In doing so, they miss the divine invitation that morning offers, a chance to pause, reflect, and prepare spiritually for the hours ahead. By dedicating even a few moments to prayer, meditation, or simply sitting in stillness, you create a foundation for the day that cannot be shaken. In this time, allow yourself to visualize the day ahead, not with fear or anxiety, but with the certainty of victory. See yourself navigating challenges with grace and achieving goals effortlessly. Picture the blessings that await you and feel the gratitude for them as though they have already come to pass. This act of visualization is a spiritual practice that aligns your mind and spirit with the reality you wish to manifest. Gratitude is an essential part of this sacred morning ritual. When you wake with a heart full of thanksgiving, you unlock a deeper awareness of the blessings already present in your life. Gratitude magnifies these blessings and draws more to you. Begin each day by thanking God for the gift of life, for the opportunities that lie ahead, and for the unseen miracles that are already working in your favor. The morning is not simply the beginning of a day, it is the beginning of creation. Each thought, each word, and each intention you set in the morning carries the power to shape your reality. Approach it with reverence, for it is in these first moments that you decide the direction of your life. Recognize the morning for what it truly is, a divine gateway to victory, a sacred opening through which blessings and triumph flow into your life. Let each morning remind you of the infinite possibilities that lie within you and the unchanging promises of God that are always ready to be fulfilled. Words hold a profound power, far beyond what is often realized. They are not merely sounds or expressions, they are creative forces shaping the world around you and within you. What you speak becomes a reflection of your inner beliefs, and those words go out into the world, setting into motion events, circumstances, and outcomes. Spoken prayers and affirmations are more than just words, they are seeds of victory, carrying within them the potential to bring forth life, abundance, and strength. When you pray or declare something with conviction, You are engaging in an act of creation. Every word you speak aligns with either faith or doubt, abundance or lack, strength or weakness. To speak life is to choose words that affirm your belief in possibilities, miracles, and divine intervention. When you say, "I am strong," you are not simply stating a fact, you are declaring a spiritual truth that transcends any physical or emotional limitations you might feel. Similarly, when you affirm, "Abundance flows to me effortlessly," you are calling forth the unseen into the seen, creating a pathway for blessings to manifest in your life. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is not a metaphor, but a spiritual law. Your words have the ability to build up or tear down, to heal or to harm, to bring clarity or confusion. What you say about yourself, your circumstances, and your future carries immense weight. If you constantly speak words of defeat, "I'll never succeed, things always go wrong for me, I'm not good enough," you are planting seeds of failure and lack. These seeds take root in your mind and spirit, growing into self-fulfilling prophecies. But when you choose to speak life, abundance, and strength, you change the narrative. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, you become a co-creator with the divine. Imagine starting each day by declaring, "I am blessed, I am favored, and I am equipped to handle everything that comes my way." Such affirmations shift your focus from fear and doubt to faith and confidence. They do not merely make you feel better in the moment, they begin to reshape your reality. Spoken prayers, too, are acts of faith. When you pray, you are not begging or pleading, you are standing in the knowledge that God's promises are already fulfilled. A prayer of faith says, "Thank you, Lord, for the abundance you have provided. Thank you for the strength you have given me. I walk in victory because I trust in your word." Such prayers carry a certainty that moves mountains. They are not requests but declarations of what is already true in the spiritual realm, waiting to manifest in the physical. It is essential to speak these words aloud. Thoughts are powerful, but spoken words amplify that power. When you declare something with your voice, you engage your mind, body, and spirit in alignment. The vibrations of your words echo into the universe, aligning the forces of creation with your intentions. This is why it is so important to guard your tongue. Every word spoken carelessly or in frustration can undo the seeds of victory you have planted. Speaking abundance means affirming that there is always more than enough for you, that lack has no place in your life. It means declaring that opportunities are endless, resources are infinite, and you are deserving of every good thing. When you say, "I am abundant," you are not ignoring your current challenges, you are choosing to see beyond them, to the truth that abundance is your birthright. To speak strength is to affirm that no matter what comes your way, you are resilient and capable. It is to reject the lies of weakness and inadequacy and to claim the truth of divine empowerment. Say aloud, "I am strong, I am fearless, and I am guided by wisdom." These words build a fortress within you, a foundation that cannot be shaken. Words are seeds, and every seed has the potential to grow into something magnificent. But the harvest depends on the seeds you choose to plant. Will you plant seeds of doubt and fear, or will you plant seeds of life, abundance, and strength? The choice is yours, and the power is in your tongue. Speak victory into existence, for your words are the beginning of your triumph. God's promises are eternal, unchanging, and unfailing. They are not just words written in Scripture, they are alive, active, and waiting to be claimed by those who believe. These promises form the foundation of faith, offering assurance in times of uncertainty and strength in moments of doubt. They are the pillars upon which we build our lives, guiding us toward manifestation and victory. To understand the power of God's promises is to recognize their permanence and their ability to transform every aspect of your life. Throughout Scripture, God's promises are not conditional on human perfection, but are rooted in His unchanging nature. He declares, "My word will not return to me void, but it will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." This means every promise God has made is already active, charged with divine power, and fully capable of coming to pass. What remains is for you to claim them with unwavering faith. These promises are not hidden or distant, they are written clearly, waiting to be spoken, believed, and acted upon. Consider the promise of provision. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This is not a mere poetic expression. It is a declaration of divine abundance and care. To claim this promise is to trust that your needs will always be met, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It is to walk through life with the assurance that lack has no place in your story, for God's provision is constant and sufficient. When you align yourself with this promise, fear of scarcity fades, and you step into a mindset of abundance, opening the door for manifestation. The promise of strength is another profound truth. I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. This is not an empty encouragement, but a divine assurance that you are equipped to face any challenge. To claim this promise is to reject the lie of inadequacy and embrace the truth of divine empowerment. It means walking boldly, knowing that no obstacle is too great and no burden too heavy, because the strength of God is within you. God's promises also extend to peace. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, this promise is a sanctuary. It offers a peace that transcends understanding, a calm that anchors you even in the fiercest storms. To claim this promise is to let go of worry and rest in the assurance that God's presence surrounds and sustains you. What makes these promises so powerful is that they are unchanging. They are not subject to the fluctuations of life or the limitations of human effort. God's word is eternal, and His promises are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. They do not fade with time or lose their potency. They remain steadfast, waiting for you to step into their truth. Faith is the key that unlocks these promises. It is not enough to know them intellectually, you must believe in them wholeheartedly. Faith transforms God's promises from abstract concepts into lived realities. It bridges the gap between what is and what can be, aligning your spirit with the divine. When you believe in God's promises, you begin to see their manifestation in your life, often in ways that exceed your expectations. To claim God's promises, you must also speak them aloud. Declare them with confidence, for your words are powerful. When you say, God is my provider, and I lack nothing, you affirm a spiritual truth that overrides any temporary challenges. When you declare, I am more than a conqueror through Him who loves me, you align yourself with victory, rejecting defeat. Speaking God's promises is not a mere ritual, it is an act of creation, setting into motion the forces of heaven to bring them to pass. These promises are not just for a select few, they are for all who believe. They are an invitation to step into a life of abundance, strength, peace, and purpose. But the responsibility lies with you to accept the invitation. Open your heart to the unchanging nature of God's word and trust that His promises are as real as the air you breathe. God's promises are the foundation of faith and manifestation. They remind you that you are never alone, that divine provision, strength, and peace are always available, and that every good thing is within your reach. Trust in these promises, claim them boldly, and watch as they transform your life in ways that only God can orchestrate. Victory begins in the mind long before it manifests in the physical world. It is a spiritual reality that takes root within you, shaping your thoughts, feelings, and actions. To visualize victory is to see the outcome as already accomplished, to believe with certainty that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. This act of envisioning is not daydreaming or wishful thinking, it is the deliberate alignment of your inner world with the reality you seek to create. When you visualize the victory, you engage with the truth that everything begins in the unseen. Before a seed sprouts, it grows roots beneath the surface. Before a building stands tall, it is first an idea in the mind of the architect. Similarly, before your goals and dreams materialize, they must exist in your imagination, vivid and complete. The imagination is a divine gift, a tool given to you to create and manifest. What you consistently hold in your mind's eye becomes the blueprint for your reality. Start by creating a clear and detailed picture of what victory looks like for you. See yourself already in possession of what you desire. If you are seeking success in your career, imagine yourself excelling in your role, receiving accolades, and experiencing fulfillment. If you are striving for healing, picture yourself strong, vibrant, and full of energy. Whatever your goal, immerse yourself fully in the vision, allowing it to come alive in your mind with clarity and detail. Engage all your senses, see it, hear it, feel it. This mental rehearsal plants the seed of belief in your subconscious mind, which in turn influences your actions and decisions. Faith plays a crucial role in this process. To visualize victory is to act in faith, trusting that what you see in your mind is more real than the current circumstances that seem to contradict it. Faith does not rely on external evidence, it relies on inner conviction. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you choose to see victory, despite what your eyes tell you, you are stepping into the realm of faith, where all things are possible. Visualization is not passive, it is an active engagement with your destiny. When you hold a vision of victory, it begins to shape your emotions, which then influence your actions. You feel confident, empowered, and inspired because in your mind the outcome is already assured. This inner transformation leads to outward changes. You begin to act in alignment with your vision, taking steps that bring it closer to reality. Opportunities that once seemed invisible become apparent, and obstacles that once felt insurmountable lose their power. The power of visualization lies in its ability to create coherence between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. When your mind sees victory, your heart believes it, and your behavior reflects it. This alignment taps into the spiritual principle that as you think in your heart, so are you. What you consistently dwell on in your mind becomes the lens through which you experience life. If you see failure, fear, or lack, you will unconsciously act in ways that confirm those outcomes. But if you see victory, abundance, and success, you will naturally gravitate toward those results. Visualizing the victory also strengthens your resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable. But when you have a clear vision of the outcome, you are less likely to be deterred. Instead of focusing on temporary difficulties, you keep your eyes on the prize, drawing strength and motivation from the image of your success. This unwavering focus keeps you grounded and determined, no matter what obstacles arise. Remember, victory begins as a spiritual reality. In the unseen realm, everything you desire already exists. Your role is to bring it forth into the physical world through belief, visualization, and action. When you see yourself as victorious, you align with the divine truth that you are equipped, empowered, and destined for greatness. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you see yourself victorious. Begin now in this moment to visualize the outcome you desire. Hold it firmly in your mind and let it guide your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Trust that what you see within will manifest without, for this is the creative power of visualization. Victory starts in the unseen, but with faith and persistence, it becomes your reality. Gratitude is a powerful force, a spiritual key that opens the floodgates of blessings. It magnifies what you have and draws more of what you desire into your life. To live in gratitude is to acknowledge the goodness of God in all things, both seen and unseen. It is an act of faith that says, I trust in your promises and I see the evidence of your hand, even before it fully manifests. When you begin each day with gratitude, you set the tone for a day filled with divine favor and abundance. Gratitude shifts your perspective. Instead of focusing on what is lacking, it directs your attention to what is present and what is possible. When you wake up and thank God for the victories already given, you remind yourself of His faithfulness. You acknowledge that every good thing in your life is a gift from above, not the result of mere chance. This recognition fills your heart with joy and your spirit with peace. It changes your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, and this mindset is crucial for unlocking the blessings yet to come. When you express gratitude for victories on their way, you activate a spiritual principle that aligns your heart with the outcome you desire. Gratitude in this sense is a declaration of faith. It is an affirmation that what you seek is already yours in the unseen realm and that it is only a matter of time before it manifests. This act of thanking God in advance strengthens your belief and removes doubt. for you cannot be truly grateful for something you do not believe is coming. The morning is the perfect time to practice gratitude because it is the start of a new day, a blank canvas upon which you can paint your reality. As the sun rises, let your heart rise in thanksgiving. Thank God for the breath in your lungs, the strength in your body, and the opportunities that await you. Thank Him for the challenges that shape you, the victories that uplift you, and the blessings that surround you, even if they are small or seem insignificant. Gratitude for the present prepares you to receive even greater blessings in the future. Gratitude also magnifies blessings by expanding your awareness of them. When you take the time to reflect on what you are thankful for, you begin to notice blessings you may have overlooked. A kind word from a stranger, a moment of peace in a busy day, or the beauty of nature all become reminders of God's goodness. This heightened awareness creates a ripple effect, allowing you to see His hand in every aspect of your life. As you recognize and appreciate these blessings, you create space for more to flow into your experience. Gratitude is a catalyst for transformation. It changes not only your perspective but also your energy. A heart filled with gratitude emits a vibration of positivity and joy that attracts more of the same. This is not merely a metaphor, but a reflection of a profound spiritual law like attracts like. When you dwell in gratitude, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance, and blessings naturally gravitate toward you. Gratitude also strengthens your relationship with God. It deepens your connection to the source of all blessings, fostering a sense of intimacy and trust. When you thank God for His provision, you acknowledge His sovereignty and love. This act of humility and recognition opens the door for greater communion with Him, allowing His presence to fill your life more fully. It is important to remember that gratitude is not reserved for moments of triumph alone. Even in seasons of difficulty, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude in challenging times is especially powerful because it demonstrates unwavering faith. It says, "I trust that this too is working for my good, and I am thankful for the lessons and growth it brings." This attitude of gratitude in adversity strengthens your spirit and accelerates your journey toward victory. Make gratitude a daily practice, a non-negotiable part of your morning routine. As you rise each day, take a moment to thank God for the blessings already given and those on their way. Speak your gratitude aloud, write it in a journal, or simply hold it in your heart. Let it become the foundation of your day, shaping your thoughts, words, and actions. Gratitude is more than a feeling, it is a choice. It is a decision to focus on the good, to trust in God's promises, and to rejoice in His faithfulness. When you embrace gratitude as a way of life, you unlock the fullness of His blessings, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary encounters with His grace. Start each day with gratitude, and watch as it transforms your life, magnifying your blessings and paving the way for victories yet to come. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the spiritual and the physical. It is the unwavering belief that what you hope for is already assured even before it appears. But faith, to be truly powerful, must be free of fear. Fear is the antithesis of faith, a force that blocks the flow of miracles and disrupts the alignment with divine favor. To live in faith without fear is to unlock the fullness of life, opening yourself to the blessings and miracles that are your birthright. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty, but it is not a spiritual truth. It stems from the belief that you are alone, unsupported, or vulnerable to harm. Yet the truth is that you are never alone. You are always surrounded by divine love and protected by a power far greater than any obstacle you face. To overcome fear, you must first recognize it for what it is, an illusion that seeks to distract you from the promises of God. When you choose to replace fear with faith, you align yourself with a higher reality where miracles are not just possible, they are inevitable. Faith requires a conscious decision to trust in divine favor, regardless of circumstances. Each morning as you rise, you have the opportunity to set the tone for your day by affirming your faith. Declare that the day is already aligned with divine favor. Believe that every encounter, every challenge, and every opportunity is working for your good. When you approach your day with this mindset, you become a magnet for blessings. You step into the flow of grace, where doors open effortlessly, and solutions appear even before problems arise. Fear, on the other hand, creates resistance. It clouds your judgment, diminishes your confidence, and limits your potential. When you allow fear to dominate your thoughts, you inadvertently block the miracles that are meant for you. Fear whispers lies of doubt and insecurity, convincing you that the road ahead is filled with insurmountable challenges. But these whispers hold no real power unless you give them your attention. By choosing faith, you silence the voice of fear and open your heart to the limitless possibilities that come from trusting in divine favor. Faith without fear is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. It is about facing them with the assurance that you are equipped to overcome them. Faith transforms obstacles into stepping stones, teaching you to see opportunities for growth and expansion where others see only setbacks. It gives you the courage to take bold steps even when the path ahead is unclear, because you trust that God is guiding your every move. Living in faith also means letting go of the need to control every outcome. Fear often arises from the desire to predict and manage the future, but true faith rests in the knowledge that the future is already held in divine hands. Surrendering control does not mean giving up. It means releasing the burden of worry and trusting that what is meant for you will come to you in the right way and at the right time. This surrender brings peace, freeing you from the anxiety that fear creates. Faith also has the power to transform your energy. When you hold firm in the belief that your day is aligned with divine favor, you carry a sense of confidence and calm that influences everything you do. Your words become more positive, your actions more purposeful, and your presence more uplifting. This energy is contagious, creating a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. People are drawn to the light of faith, and situations begin to shift in your favor as you exude the certainty that miracles are already at work. In moments when fear tries to creep in, remind yourself of the promises of God. These promises are unchanging, a firm foundation that no storm can shake. Speak them aloud, affirming that you are loved, protected, and provided for. Surround yourself with reminders of these truths, whether through scripture, affirmations, or moments of quiet reflection. Let your faith be louder than your fears, and let your trust in divine favor guide you through every challenge. Faith without fear is a daily practice, a commitment to choosing trust over doubt, hope over despair, and love over fear. It is the decision to see the day not as a series of uncertainties, but as a canvas already painted with divine blessings. When you hold this perspective, you unlock the miracles that are waiting to unfold. Step forward with faith, unburdened by fear, and watch as your life aligns with the fullness of God's promises. In every moment, we hold the power to align ourselves with God's promises through faith, gratitude, and unwavering trust. Each morning is a sacred gateway to victory, a fresh opportunity to declare your alignment with divine favor. By speaking life through your words, visualizing your victories, holding on to unshakable faith, and expressing heartfelt gratitude, you step into the flow of miracles. Fear has no place in a heart anchored in faith, and each day becomes a reflection of the spiritual reality you have embraced. As you journey forward, remember that God's promises are unchanging, His love is steadfast, and His blessings are infinite. Your prayers are powerful, your thoughts are creative, and your faith is the key to unlocking a life filled with abundance and joy. The victory is already yours. All that remains is for you to claim it with confidence and trust. Thank you for dedicating this time to reflect on the truths that transform. May each morning bring you closer to the fullness of God's promises, and may your life shine as a testament to His unending grace.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about love that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to understand. Love is not always loud. It doesn't always show up with flowers, text messages, or grand gestures. Sometimes love walks into the room and quietly takes a seat at the back. Sometimes love withdraws, it retreats. And you sit there wondering, why isn't he calling? Why isn't he texting? Let me explain. When a man loves you, truly loves you, he's not just thinking about today. He's thinking about tomorrow. And the day after that, he's wondering, do I have what it takes to keep her safe? To keep her happy? To be the man she needs me to be? That kind of pressure, that weight, it's heavy. So what does he do? He steps back, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. He's fighting battles you don't see, working on a version of himself you haven't met yet. His silence isn't an insult, it's a promise. But here's where it gets real. Love isn't about constant attention. It's not about text messages or reassurance. Love grows in the spaces between. If he ignores you, he's giving you room to see if you can meet him there in the silence, in the uncertainty, in the waiting. You see, love isn't about convenience, it's about commitment. If a man pulls away, it doesn't always mean he's leaving. Sometimes it means he's preparing, he's becoming. Because real love is not about what he can take, it's about what he can give. So if he loves you, he might ignore you. Not because you're not worthy of his attention, but because he's trying to become worthy of yours. The question isn't whether he loves you. The question is, can you trust the silence? Can you trust the process? Because love isn't about being seen every second. It's about being felt, even when he's not there. It's about knowing that his silence is temporary, but his love, if it's real, will last forever. Love is often romanticized as an endless cascade of grand gestures, whispered words of affection, and moments of undeniable connection. Yet the truth is far more nuanced. Love, in its purest form, doesn't always speak through the obvious. It doesn't always show up in the way we expect. Sometimes love chooses silence. Not the silence of neglect or indifference, but the kind of silence that carries weight and meaning, a silence that shouts louder than any word ever could. When a man loves deeply, he doesn't always feel the need to fill the space with constant affirmations or actions. Instead, his silence can be purposeful. It is in those moments of quiet that he reflects, gathers strength, and seeks clarity about how to show up for the woman he loves. For some, silence isn't an absence of love, it's an expression of it. It's his way of ensuring that his next step isn't a misstep, that his intentions align with his actions, and that he doesn't falter in the role he feels compelled to fulfill. Love is transformative. It challenges a man to become the best version of himself, not just for his own sake, but for the sake of the person he holds dear. That transformation doesn't happen in noise or chaos, it happens in stillness. In silence, he can confront his fears, insecurities, and doubts without the added pressure of maintaining a facade. Silence becomes the canvas on which he paints a clearer picture of what it means to love deeply, responsibly, and intentionally. To love someone is to carry a profound sense of responsibility. It's not simply about being present. In the easy moments, it's about showing up when it matters most, even if that means taking a step back to recalibrate. For a man who loves deeply, silence is often his way of ensuring that he's capable of meeting the demands of love. He's not ignoring you to hurt you or to push you away. Instead, he's retreating to protect the bond, to strengthen it from within. His silence is an act of preparation, a pause that allows him to step forward with clarity and purpose. It's important to understand that love can be overwhelming. When a man realizes the depth of his feelings, it can shake the very foundation of who he is. Love has a way of uncovering vulnerabilities, exposing the raw parts of his soul that he may have spent years shielding from the world. In silence, he wrestles with these emotions, seeking to understand them, to master them, so they don't master him. His quiet moments are not an escape from love, but a testament to its power, a power so profound that it demands careful attention and respect. Silence for a man in love can also be a sign of trust. It's his way of believing in the strength of the relationship. He doesn't feel the need to constantly fill the air with words or actions, because he trusts that the bond is strong enough to withstand the quiet. It's in those moments of stillness that the foundation of the relationship is tested and, if nurtured, grows even stronger. True love doesn't need constant validation. It thrives in understanding, patience, and mutual respect. For the woman on the other side of this silence, it can feel confusing, even painful. It's natural to question, to wonder if the silence is a sign of indifference or fading affection. But love isn't always easy to decipher. Sometimes it requires faith in the unseen, belief in the intangible. His silence may not provide the reassurance you crave, but it carries a promise, an unspoken vow that he's working to become the man you need him to be. In a world that glorifies instant gratification and constant communication, it's easy to misinterpret silence as a lack of interest or care. But true love doesn't conform to societal expectations. It doesn't always arrive with fanfare or flourish. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the spaces between words, in the pauses that allow for growth and reflection. When rooted in love is not an end, it's a bridge. It connects the man he is now to the man he's striving to become. It connects your present to your shared future. It's not a void, it's a vessel, carrying the weight of his intentions, his dreams, and his love for you. To love deeply is to trust that silence, to understand that it holds more than what words could ever express. When a man loves deeply, his instinct is often to protect, to shield the one he loves from the burdens he carries. This protection doesn't always manifest in ways that are easy to understand. At times it looks like distance. It feels like withdrawal. It can even appear as if he's shutting you out. But more often than not, this retreat isn't born of neglect or disinterest, it's rooted in love. A love so deep that he's willing to bear the weight of his struggles alone so that you don't have to. Men, by nature or by conditioning, are often taught to equate love with strength. They internalize the idea that being a provider, a protector, and a source of stability is what defines their role in a relationship. So when they find themselves facing vulnerabilities, be it fear, doubt, stress, or insecurity, it can feel like a betrayal of that role. To reveal those vulnerabilities may feel, to them, like revealing weakness. And weakness, in their mind, is the very thing they've promised to protect you from. This is why many men retreat. It's not because they don't care, and it's certainly not because they've stopped loving you. On the contrary, they withdraw because they love you too much to let you see them in a state of fragility. They're afraid that their struggles might burden you, that their pain might overshadow the joy they want to bring into your life. In their minds, retreating is an act of love. It's a way of keeping you safe from the storms they're battling within. A man in love often carries an invisible weight. He may not talk about it, but it's there, looming, pressing, unrelenting. It could be the pressure to succeed, the fear of failure, or the desire to meet the expectations he believes you have of him. These internal battles are deeply personal, and for many men, sharing them feels unnatural or even impossible. It's not that they don't trust you, it's that they've been taught to handle these things alone. To them, love means being the rock, the unshakable foundation that you can lean on. And when they feel their foundation cracking, their instinct is to step away and fix it quietly, alone, before they let you lean on it again. The retreat is often temporary, though it may not feel that way in the moment. When a man pulls back, it's his way of regrouping, of finding the strength he needs to continue being the partner he wants to be. It's a pause, not an end. But for the woman on the receiving end of this distance, it can be confusing and even painful. It's natural to wonder why he's pulling away, to question whether you've done something wrong, or to fear that his love is fading. These feelings are valid, but they often miss the deeper truth. His withdrawal is not a rejection of you, it's an act of protection, a way of preserving the relationship by ensuring that his personal struggles don't spill over into it. This instinct to shield you from his vulnerabilities is, in many ways, a testament to how deeply he values you. He wants you to see his strength, his confidence, his ability to take care of you, and the life you're building together. When he's unable to feel those things within himself, his first thought is to protect you from that uncertainty. It's not that he doesn't want your support, he just doesn't want you to carry the weight that he believes is his alone to bear. This retreat can also be a learning moment for both partners. It's an opportunity to build trust, to show him that love doesn't require perfection, and to remind him that you're not just there for the good times, but for all times. While his instinct may be to protect you from his vulnerabilities, your love can gently show him that those vulnerabilities don't make him less worthy of your affection or respect. On the contrary, they make him human, and in their humanity, they can bring you closer. For a man, retreating isn't about abandoning love. It's about preserving it. It's his way of ensuring that his struggles don't diminish the life you share. It's his way of saying, I love you too much to let my storms become yours. And while it may be difficult to see in the moment, his retreat is often a powerful expression of his love. It's a reflection of his commitment to your happiness and his willingness to fight his battles so that you never have to. In time, as he works through his challenges, he will return not as a man who has abandoned you, but as one who has fought for you in his own way. Love is more than a feeling, it is a responsibility, one that many men take deeply to heart. It's not just about being present during the moments of joy and celebration, but about being a steadfast pillar during challenges and uncertainties. For some men, the weight of that responsibility can be overwhelming. They find themselves questioning whether they are truly enough, whether they can meet the expectations they perceive from their partner, and whether they are capable of giving the love and support that a relationship demands. In those moments of self-doubt, they may pull back not because their love has lessened, but because they feel an urgent need to grow into the man they believe you deserve. This retreat is not a lack of commitment, it is, in fact, evidence of just how seriously they take their role in your life. To them, love isn't just an emotional connection, it is a duty to protect, provide, and nurture. When they feel they are falling short in any of these areas, it can trigger a deep sense of inadequacy. They might begin to internalize the belief that they are unworthy of your love or incapable of sustaining the relationship in the way they aspire to. In their minds, pulling back becomes a way to regroup, to work on themselves, and to become stronger, not for their own sake, but for the sake of the love they hold for you. Men often measure their worth in tangible terms. They ask themselves questions like, can I provide security? Can I offer stability? Can I ensure happiness for the person I love? When the answers to those questions feel uncertain, it can cause a man to spiral inward. Instead of leaning on their partner during these moments, they might instinctively retreat, driven by the desire to fix these perceived shortcomings alone. They don't want to be a source of worry or a burden, so they take the weight of their struggles upon themselves, believing that this is what strength looks like. This withdrawal can be confusing for their partner, who may interpret the distance as a lack of interest or love. It's natural to question what went wrong, to wonder why someone who once seemed so connected is now pulling away. But more often than not, the root cause isn't apathy, it's fear. The fear of not being enough, the fear of disappointing you, the fear that their love, as it stands, isn't sufficient. This fear, ironically, is born out of how much they care. It reflects the depth of their feelings and their desire to rise to the occasion for you. In the silence of their retreat, many men wrestle with internal battles that they may never voice aloud. They challenge their own insecurities, confront their weaknesses, and push themselves to grow. They may not express this process in words, but it's a quiet, determined effort to become a better version of themselves. They are striving to be the man who not only meets your expectations, but exceeds them. The man who can stand beside you with confidence, knowing he's giving his all. For their partner, it can be a test of patience and trust. It's difficult to watch someone you love withdraw, especially when you're willing to share their burdens and support them through their struggles. But part of loving someone deeply is understanding the ways in which they process and grow. It's recognizing that their retreat isn't about creating distance between you, It's about building a bridge to a stronger future together. Their time apart is not spent in neglect, but in preparation, ensuring that when they return, they do so with greater clarity, strength, and purpose. At its core, this retreat is an act of love, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. It's a man's way of saying, I want to be the best I can for you. It's his recognition of the immense value you bring into his life and his determination to be worthy of that gift. The weight of responsibility he feels isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of his commitment. It shows that he sees the relationship as something worth fighting for, worth improving himself for, and worth carrying through even the heaviest of days. In time, as he works through his doubts and fears, he will emerge stronger and more secure. He will return not as someone who walked away from love, but as someone who paused to ensure he could meet it with the full measure of his heart. And when he does, the bond you share will be all the more resilient for the effort he poured into himself and ultimately into you. True love has a way of shaking even the most composed individuals. It touches parts of the heart and mind that may have remained dormant for years, and with that awakening comes a vulnerability that can feel both exhilarating and terrifying. For some men, love isn't just an emotion, it's an overwhelming force that threatens to strip away the control they've carefully built over their inner world. In their attempts to navigate these intense feelings, they might seem distant or even ignore the person they care for most. But this behavior isn't rooted in rejection, it's their way of regaining emotional balance, of finding a way to master feelings that suddenly feel too powerful to contain. When a man loves deeply, he may find himself standing on unfamiliar terrain. Love brings with it a vulnerability that can feel like losing one's footing, and for someone accustomed to being in control, this can be deeply unsettling. Control provides a sense of safety and predictability, a way to navigate life without being thrown off course. But love has no roadmap, no set rules. It's unpredictable, raw, and all-consuming. For some, this lack of control is exhilarating, but for others, it's terrifying. The idea of being so deeply connected to someone, of placing their heart in another's hands, can feel like surrendering a piece of themselves. In response to this overwhelming sensation, some men withdraw not because they care less, but because they care so much that they feel the need to process their emotions privately. Ignoring the one they love may be an unconscious defense mechanism, a way to create space where they can sort through the tidal wave of feelings without losing themselves in the process. It's not about pushing their partner away, it's about finding a way to steady themselves in the face of emotions that feel too vast to handle all at once. This withdrawal can be deeply confusing for their partner. After all, love is often expressed through closeness, through acts of affection and reassurance. When those acts suddenly seem to disappear, it's easy to interpret the distance as rejection. But the truth is often the opposite. The space they create is not about pulling away permanently, it's about recalibrating, about finding a way to remain present without being consumed by the intensity of their emotions. It's a pause, a moment to catch their breath, in a relationship that means so much to them that it threatens to upend their sense of self. The fear of losing control in love isn't about the other person, it's about the self. It's about grappling with the realization that love requires a level of openness and surrender that can feel frightening. For some, the idea of being too attached, too vulnerable, or too dependent on another person feels like stepping into uncharted waters. They may worry that losing control of their emotions could lead to losing control of their lives, their decisions, or their sense of independence. And so, they pull back not to disconnect, but to find a way to engage with their emotions without feeling overwhelmed by them. This need to master their feelings is often a reflection of how deeply they value the relationship. They want to show up fully, to be present in a way that feels authentic and balanced. But to do that, they must first come to terms with the intensity of their own emotions. Ignoring the one they love can sometimes be their way of saying, I need a moment to process this. It's a way to ensure that when they do return, they can offer their best self, not a version of themselves that's struggling to stay afloat. For their partner, this behavior can be challenging to navigate. It requires patience, trust, and an understanding that love isn't always linear. It ebbs and flows, sometimes surging with intensity, and other times retreating into moments of quiet reflection. While it may be difficult to feel ignored or distanced, it's important to recognize that these moments of withdrawal are often a testament to the depth of their feelings. They step back not because they don't care, but because they care so much that they need to find a way to handle their emotions in a healthy, sustainable way. Over time, as they grow more comfortable with the vulnerability that love demands, the need to retreat often diminishes. They learn that losing control isn't necessarily a bad thing, that it can lead to deeper connection, greater intimacy, and a more profound understanding of themselves and their partner. They realize that love isn't about mastering emotions, but about flowing with them, about embracing the uncertainty and the chaos that come with opening one's heart fully. Silence in this context is not the absence of love, but a space created to explore its depth. A man who deeply cares might withdraw temporarily to see how the relationship exists in the absence of constant interaction. This space is not a void, but an opportunity, an invitation for the connection to prove its durability and authenticity. Genuine bonds are not dependent on continual validation. They are rooted in mutual understanding, trust, and the quiet confidence that love doesn't waver when words or actions are momentarily absent. For some men, this silence is a way to protect what they hold dear. They want to ensure that the relationship is not just a fleeting connection, but something more profound, something capable of enduring life's challenges. It's easy to feel connected when everything is perfect, when communication flows freely and affection is abundant. But life is rarely perfect. There will be moments of distance, misunderstandings, and external pressures. A man who loves deeply understands this reality and seeks to know if the bond you share can weather those storms. This withdrawal is not about testing your loyalty or creating unnecessary tension. It's about finding assurance in the quiet moments. It's about seeing if the connection remains steady, even when there's no constant reassurance. For him, silence can be a sacred space, a pause, where he reflects on the relationship, its meaning, and its future. He wants to know if love can survive in its purest form, unadorned by the distractions of daily interaction. Can it thrive in stillness? Can it endure in the face of temporary distance? For his partner, this can be a challenging experience. Silence is often misinterpreted as neglect or disinterest. It can feel unsettling to be left without the usual expressions of love, leading to doubts and insecurities. But it's essential to understand the intention behind this silence. It's not meant to create distance, but to reveal the strength of what already exists. It's a way of asking, without words, can we stand strong even in the quiet? True love does not require constant validation. It does not demand endless attention or reassurance. Instead, it finds its roots in mutual respect, understanding, and trust. A connection that can endure silence is one that can weather anything. It's a bond that transcends the need for constant affirmation, one that thrives on the quiet knowledge that love is present, even when it's not being actively expressed. When a man creates this space, he's also testing his own ability to trust and let go. For many, love comes with its own set of vulnerabilities, the fear of being hurt, of not being enough, or of losing what matters most. By stepping back, he's not only observing the relationship, but also challenging himself to release these fears. He's learning to trust that love doesn't need to be micromanaged, that it can flourish in the moments when he's not actively tending to it. For both partners, this process can lead to growth. It encourages introspection, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the connection. It's a reminder that love is not about constant proximity, but about the quality of the bond. When the silence ends, and it always does, the relationship emerges stronger, fortified by the understanding that it can endure not just through words and actions, but also through quiet reflection. Silence becomes a testament to love's resilience. It's not about ignoring or neglecting. It's about trusting in the strength of what you share. Genuine love doesn't crumble in the absence of attention. It stands firm, rooted in the shared understanding that true connection goes beyond the surface. It exists in the spaces between words, in the moments of stillness, and in the quiet confidence that what you have is real, enduring, and unshakable. Sometimes love requires space for growth. A man who truly cares may step away not because he doesn't value you, but because he recognizes the importance of evolving as an individual before fully stepping into a relationship. This temporary distance is not a reflection of his feelings toward you, nor is it a sign of neglect. Rather, it is an intentional decision to build a life that can support and sustain the love you share. It is an investment in the future of the relationship, a way of ensuring that when he returns, he is ready to give you all of himself, in a way that will truly honor both your connection and his own personal development. Men feel a deep sense of responsibility toward their partners. They want to provide not only emotionally but also practically, offering a secure foundation for the relationship to flourish. But this requires growth, personal, professional, and emotional growth. It's not enough to simply exist in a relationship. To truly show up and build something lasting, a person must first ensure they are in the best possible position to do so. Sometimes this means taking a step back to focus on self-improvement, to lay the groundwork for the life they want to share with you. The desire to grow is not born from dissatisfaction, but from a place of love and commitment. A man who loves you wants to ensure that he can give you everything you deserve. This might mean taking time to further his career, improve his financial stability, or work on personal issues that may be preventing him from fully engaging in the relationship. This period of growth is about him preparing himself, becoming the partner he believes you deserve, and making sure that the foundation of your future together is solid. While this growth can involve physical or emotional distance, it should not be mistaken for withdrawal or a lack of interest. It's about making choices that might seem painful in the short term, but are aimed at long-term success. Just as a plant needs time to grow and develop roots before it can bloom, so too does love require a space to mature. In this silence, he is not ignoring you. He is investing in himself so that he can return stronger, more capable, and more equipped to nurture the relationship. For the person on the receiving end, it can be difficult to understand this need for distance. In a world that often values constant communication and shared experiences, the absence of attention can feel like a sign of abandonment or lack of affection. But love, in its most mature form, understands that space and independence are necessary for a relationship to thrive. True love is not about clinging to one another, but about giving each other the freedom to grow and evolve, knowing that the bond between you will endure through those changes. In his absence, there is an opportunity for both partners to reflect and grow individually. While he is working on himself, it's important to use this time as a chance for your own personal development as well. Growth in a relationship is not solely the responsibility of one person. Both partners should strive to become the best versions of themselves, understanding that a strong relationship is made up of two people who are grounded in their own identities, passions, and aspirations. The distance isn't a void, it's a space for individual growth that ultimately strengthens the connection. This period of absence, while difficult, can deepen the trust and understanding between two people. It teaches patience and allows both partners to see that love is not about constant proximity, but about the ability to remain connected despite physical or emotional distance. The love that endures through growth is often the most resilient. When both individuals return to the relationship with a greater sense of self, they are better equipped to support one another and build a future together that is grounded in mutual respect and understanding. A man who steps away to grow is not abandoning you, but rather giving the relationship a chance to thrive in the long run. He understands that the best love is not about rushing forward, but about laying the groundwork for a future that is secure, stable, and lasting. His absence is not a rejection, it is a commitment to ensuring that when he returns, he is the partner you deserve, ready to build a life with you that is both fulfilling and sustainable. In this way, distance becomes an essential part of the process of love, one that ultimately brings both people closer together, stronger and more united in their shared vision for the future. In conclusion, the silence, withdrawal, or absence of a man who loves you is not a sign of neglect or a lack of affection. Rather, it is often an intentional act aimed at personal growth, emotional mastery, or the development of a life that can truly sustain and support the relationship. It's in these moments of distance that love is tested and strengthened, revealing its depth and resilience. True love is not about constant closeness, but about the mutual trust and understanding that a relationship can endure, even in the quiet moments. A man who steps back does so with the intention of returning stronger, more capable of building a future together. And it is in these moments of growth, both individually and as a couple, that love matures into something more meaningful, lasting, and fulfilling. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope these words have brought clarity and understanding to the complexities of love and relationships.
Let the rush of the present moment fill you with certainty. The time you have been waiting for is not tomorrow. Not next year, it is now. Your time has come. Millions are already on their way to you, flowing like an unstoppable river of abundance. The first step is belief. Do you believe that the millions you seek are already yours? If you can see it in your mind, if you can hold the vision in your heart, then it is already real. Let go of the need to try. Let go of the struggle. You do not need to chase what is divinely meant for you. Simply receive it by knowing it is yours. Imagination is your secret power. Picture yourself living in wealth. Feel the joy of holding that money in your hands. See yourself in the home of your dreams, driving the car you've always wanted, living a life of limitless freedom. Do not imagine it as if it is coming. Imagine it as though it has already arrived. The more vivid your inner vision, the faster it will shape your outer reality. Doubt and fear are illusions. They have no place in this moment of creation. Release the fear of not having enough, the doubt that whispers, "This isn't for you." Replace them with gratitude and certainty. You are not here to beg the universe, you are here to command it with the authority of your inner conviction. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to abundance. Say thank you for the millions that are already yours, even if you cannot yet see them. Gratitude signals to the universe that you are ready to receive. It shifts your vibration, aligning you with the frequency of wealth. Persist in your knowing. The outer world may take time to reflect the millions that are already within you. Do not waver when you see temporary circumstances. Hold your inner truth. Speak it aloud. I am wealthy. I am abundant. My millions are here now. This is not just a speech. This is your moment of transformation. Declare that your time has come. You are ready. The millions are yours, not because you must work harder or fight for them, but because you already are the embodiment of wealth. The universe moves at the speed of your belief. So stand firm, act boldly, and know that the time is now. Millions are manifesting for you, through you, and with you. Your time has come. Live it. Claim it. It is already done. Belief is the cornerstone of all creation. It is the silent yet powerful force that shapes your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. What you hold true in your mind becomes the blueprint for your life. If you desire millions, the first step is not action but belief and unwavering conviction that those millions are already yours. Without this foundation, even the most elaborate plans will crumble. But with it, you hold the key to unlocking the life you have always envisioned. To see yourself as already possessing the millions you seek requires more than wishful thinking. It demands that you shift your entire perspective. Instead of longing for something that feels distant, you must embody the certainty that it is already present. In your imagination, you are not someone striving to become wealthy, you are someone who is wealthy. The world may not yet reflect this truth, but belief transcends what the eyes can see. It looks beyond temporary circumstances and holds firm to the unseen reality that is unfolding. The power of belief lies in its ability to override doubt. Doubt is the thief that sneaks into your mind, whispering that your dreams are too big, your circumstances too challenging, or your abilities too limited. But belief silences that voice. When you believe in the millions as if they are already yours, doubt loses its power. It cannot coexist with unwavering faith. The more you nurture this belief, the more you build an inner fortress that no external challenge can shake. This is not a passive process. Belief requires intention and practice. Begin by seeing yourself as the person you aspire to be. Close your eyes and visualize every detail of your abundant life. Where do you live? What does your day look like? How does it feel to have the financial freedom to do what you love without constraint? As you immerse yourself in this vision, let the emotions of gratitude, joy, and fulfillment flood your being. These feelings are the language of belief. They communicate to the universe that you already possess what you seek. Belief also calls for consistency. It is not something you practice once and then forget. Each day, reaffirm your conviction. Speak it aloud: I am abundant. I am wealthy. My millions are already mine. Write it down. Meditate on it. Act in alignment with it. The more you engage with your belief, the stronger it becomes. It is like planting a seed. With regular care and attention, it grows roots, then sprouts, and eventually flourishes into a magnificent tree. Many people falter because they look to the outer world for proof before they fully believe. But this is like waiting for the rain before planting your crops. The truth is that the outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state. If you wait for evidence before believing, you will wait forever. Instead, believe first, and the evidence will follow. When you hold the conviction that you already have the millions, the universe rearranges itself to bring that reality to life. This process does not require struggle or strain. Belief is not about forcing yourself to think positively or denying the reality of your current situation. It is about choosing to see beyond it. It is about deciding that your dreams are more real than your doubts, that your faith is stronger than your fears. This kind of belief is liberating. It frees you from the need to control every detail of how your millions will manifest. Your job is not to figure out how, it is simply to believe that they will. As you cultivate this belief, you will notice subtle shifts. Opportunities that once seemed hidden will begin to appear. Ideas will flow to you with ease. People and circumstances will align in ways you could not have planned. This is not coincidence, it is the natural result of your belief setting the wheels of creation into motion. When you see yourself as already possessing the millions, you step into a new identity. You no longer act from a place of lack or desperation. Instead, you act from a place of abundance and confidence. This energy is magnetic. It attracts wealth, success, and prosperity to you effortlessly. The world responds not to what you say you want, but to who you believe you are. So believe with all your heart. See yourself as the wealthy, abundant being you were always meant to be. Let this belief guide your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. Hold it close, nurture it daily, and watch as the millions you desire flow into your life. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And with unwavering belief that when is now. Imagination is the most potent tool you possess, yet it is often underestimated or misunderstood. It is through the power of imagination that everything in your life takes form. Look around you, everything you see, touch, or experience first began in someone's mind. The buildings, the technologies, the art, even the relationships in your life are the result of imagination shaping reality. This is not merely a poetic idea, it is a fundamental truth. Your imagination is the starting point of all creation, and it holds the power to transform your world. To manifest the life you desire, you must learn to use your imagination consciously. It is not enough to daydream passively or to think about what you want in vague terms. You must intentionally craft a vision of your desired reality and immerse yourself in it fully. This is where the magic happens, when you use your imagination to see, feel, and live in the end result. Begin by closing your eyes and visualizing your dream life as if it is already happening. Imagine yourself living in the house of your dreams, surrounded by the luxuries you desire. See the details clearly, the colors, the textures, the people around you. What do you hear in this reality? Perhaps it's the sound of laughter, the rustling of the wind outside your beautiful home, or the hum of a car engine as you drive the vehicle you've always wanted. Engage all your senses. The more vivid and real your mental picture, the more powerful its effect on your reality. But imagination is not just about seeing, it is about feeling. The emotions you experience during your visualization are the key to making it real. When you imagine yourself living in abundance, allow yourself to feel the joy, freedom, and gratitude that come with it. Feel the excitement of having what you desire, the relief of knowing all your needs are met, and the contentment of being exactly where you want to be. These feelings are the language through which your imagination communicates with the universe. Your mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently imagine a specific reality and infuse it with emotion, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Once this happens, your thoughts, actions, and energy begin to align with that imagined reality, drawing it into your physical experience. This is why imagination is often called the blueprint of reality. It lays the foundation for what will manifest in your life. It's important to approach this practice with faith and persistence. The outer world may not immediately reflect the reality you are imagining, but do not be discouraged. Your role is not to judge what you see, but to continue imagining what you desire. Over time, as you persist in your vision, you will notice subtle shifts. Opportunities will arise, circumstances will change, and people will appear to support your dreams. These are not coincidences, but the natural unfolding of your imagined reality. Many people allow their imagination to be dominated by fear, doubt, or negative scenarios. They worry about what could go wrong, and in doing so, they unknowingly create more of what they fear. This is the double-edged nature of imagination. It will create whatever you focus on, whether positive or negative. This is why it is crucial to discipline your mind and direct your imagination toward what you truly want. To live in the end result means to act and feel as though your desired outcome has already occurred. This doesn't mean pretending or denying your current reality. It means aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When you walk through life with the confidence and peace of someone who already has everything they desire, you set powerful forces into motion. The world begins to rearrange itself to match the reality you are embodying. Imagination also teaches you to trust in the unseen. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the reality you imagine takes time to manifest. You may not see immediate evidence of your creation, but that does not mean it isn't happening. Trust that your vision is taking shape, even if the outer circumstances suggest otherwise. This is not a passive process. It requires consistency and commitment. Set aside time each day to imagine your desired reality. Make it a joyful ritual, a time to connect with the life you are creating. As you do, notice how your energy shifts, how your mood lifts, and how your perspective expands. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until your imagined reality feels as real as the physical world around you. Your imagination is a sacred gift, a tool for shaping your destiny. Use it wisely and intentionally. See, feel, and live in the end result of your dreams, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Your mind is the blueprint and imagination is the architect. Trust it, use it, and create the reality you deserve. The present moment is where all power resides. It is the only moment you truly have, the only moment that exists. Many people live their lives waiting for someday. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect circumstances to take action or embrace the life they desire. But someday is an illusion. The truth is, your moment is now. Everything you seek, everything you dream of, begins with the decision to claim it in this very moment. Declaring that this is your moment to rise is not about hoping or wishing. It is about making a bold and deliberate choice. It is about standing firmly in the present and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you desire. This alignment is the key to transformation. When you stop waiting for the future and begin living as if your dreams are already here, You activate a powerful force that draws your desires to you. The present moment holds infinite possibilities, but you must be willing to seize it. To align with the now, you must let go of the idea that there is something missing, or that you need to wait for conditions to change. Instead, embrace the truth that everything you need is already within you. The external world may not yet reflect your vision, but that does not matter. What matters is the inner shift the moment you decide that your time has come, and you act from that place of certainty. Acting as if your dreams are already realized is not about pretending or fooling yourself. It is about embodying the energy, confidence, and mindset of the person you aspire to be. If you desire success, walk through life with the assurance of someone who is already successful. If you seek abundance, carry yourself with the gratitude and generosity of someone who knows their needs are always met. When you align your actions with your desired reality, you send a clear message to the universe: I am ready. I am worthy. I am here. This alignment requires more than just positive thinking. It demands a deep commitment to live in the present with intention and awareness. Pay attention to how you speak, think, and behave. Are your words and actions rooted in the belief that your dreams are already unfolding? Or are they laced with doubt, fear, and hesitation? The energy you project in the present moment shapes the reality you experience. One of the most powerful ways to align with the present is to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude anchors you in the now and shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. Begin each day by acknowledging the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. As you practice gratitude, you train your mind to see opportunities and possibilities instead of obstacles. This shift in perspective opens the door for your desires to manifest. Another essential aspect of aligning with the present is trust. Trust that the timing of your life is perfect, even if it doesn't always match your expectations. Trust that the universe is working in your favor, orchestrating events and circumstances to bring your vision to life. When you trust the process, you release the need to control every detail and allow things to unfold naturally. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your faith in the power of the present moment. To rise in this moment means to let go of the past and the future. The past holds memories and lessons, but it does not define you. The future is a canvas for your dreams, but it is painted with the colors of today. When you focus on the now, you free yourself from the burdens of regret and the weight of uncertainty. You become fully alive, fully present, and fully capable of creating the life you desire. Every action you take in the present moment carries the energy of your belief. When you act as if your dreams are already here, you create momentum. Small steps, when taken with conviction, lead to big changes. Perhaps it's a phone call you've been putting off, a decision you've been avoiding, or a leap of faith you've been afraid to take. Whatever it is, do it now. Each action, no matter how small, is a declaration that you are ready to rise. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. The life you desire is waiting for you to claim it. Step into the present with confidence and act as if your dreams are already real. When you do, you align yourself with the flow of creation, and the universe responds in kind. Trust in the power of the now and rise to meet your destiny. Doubt and fear are the great thieves of abundance. They lurk in the shadows of the mind, casting doubt over your dreams and making you question your worthiness to receive them. These emotions act as barriers, blocking the flow of the good that is already on its way to you. They create resistance, a kind of energetic wall that prevents the natural unfolding of your desires. If you want to manifest the life you dream of, you must learn to release these feelings and replace them with conviction and gratitude. Fear often arises when you focus too much on the how will your dreams come to pass? How will the money, the success, or the relationship find its way to you? This preoccupation with the process stems from a lack of trust. It assumes that unless you can see every step of the journey, your desires may not come to fruition. But the truth is, the how is not your responsibility. Your role is to trust in the process, to align your energy with the outcome you seek, and to act in faith. Doubt, on the other hand, creeps in when you allow past failures or disappointments to shape your beliefs about what is possible. Perhaps you've tried and failed before, and now you hesitate to dream big again. Doubt whispers, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm not enough? But these thoughts are illusions. They have no power unless you give it to them. Your past does not define your future, and your limitations are not set in stone. The moment you decide to release doubt, you open yourself to infinite possibilities. The first step in overcoming fear and doubt is awareness. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When fear or doubt arises, acknowledge it without judgment. These emotions are not your enemies, they are simply signals pointing to areas where your faith needs strengthening. Instead of suppressing them, face them with courage and compassion. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What am I doubting, and why? Often the answers reveal underlying beliefs that no longer serve you. Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, it's time to replace them with empowering ones. This is where conviction comes into play. Conviction is the unwavering belief that what you desire is not only possible but inevitable. It is a deep knowing that the universe is working in your favor, even if you can't see it yet. Conviction doesn't rely on external evidence, it is rooted in the certainty that your desires are already yours. To cultivate conviction, immerse yourself in the feeling of already having what you want. Imagine the joy, gratitude, and peace you would feel if your dreams were realized today. Hold on to those feelings even when fear and doubt try to creep back in. The more you practice this, the stronger your conviction becomes, and the less power fear and doubt will have over you. Gratitude is another powerful tool for releasing fear and doubt. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you shift your attention from lack to abundance. Gratitude reminds you of all the blessings you already have, creating a sense of contentment and trust. It also signals to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Start each day by listing 3 things you are grateful for, and end each day by reflecting on the good that happened. As you make gratitude a habit, you will notice a profound change in your mindset and energy. It's important to understand that releasing fear and doubt is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. These emotions may resurface from time to time, especially when you're stepping out of your comfort zone or pursuing something new. When this happens, don't be discouraged. Remind yourself that fear and doubt are natural responses to growth. They are signs that you are expanding and moving closer to your dreams. Remember that abundance is your birthright. The universe operates on principles of infinite supply, and there is no limit to what you can receive. The only thing standing between you and your desires is the resistance created by fear and doubt. By choosing conviction and gratitude, you dissolve this resistance and allow abundance to flow freely into your life. Actively choose to trust in the unseen. Even if the path ahead seems unclear, trust that each step will reveal itself in perfect timing. Replace every what if it doesn't work with what if it does. Replace every fear of lack with gratitude for the abundance already present. Replace every doubt in your ability with faith in your unlimited potential. The moment you release fear and doubt, you create space for miracles to unfold. You align yourself with the energy of abundance, and the universe responds in kind. Trust in this process. Believe in your dreams. Know that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer. With conviction in your heart and gratitude in your soul, nothing is impossible. Let go of fear, let go of doubt, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It acts as a magnet, drawing wealth, abundance, and opportunities toward you. The secret lies in the vibration gratitude creates within you. When you express true, heartfelt thankfulness, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. This alignment is not only a mindset but a state of being, a deep connection to the reality you wish to create. To manifest the millions you desire, Gratitude must become your foundation, not for what you hope will come, but for what you already feel is yours. The act of gratitude is a declaration of trust in the unseen. When you express thanks for the millions as if they are already yours, you are telling the universe that you believe in its abundance. You are no longer in a state of lack, wishing or yearning for something outside of yourself. Instead, you are radiating the energy of fulfillment and wealth, signaling that you are ready to receive more. This shift in energy is transformative because, like attracts like, gratitude for abundance draws more abundance. Many people wait for external evidence before feeling grateful. They tell themselves, I'll be thankful when I have the money, the success, or the life I want, but this approach keeps them stuck in a loop of waiting. The universe responds not to waiting but to being. By embodying the feeling of already having what you desire, you create a powerful energetic blueprint for your reality. Gratitude is the key that unlocks this state of being. Begin by imagining the millions you desire as if they are already in your possession. Picture yourself living the life of your dreams, free from financial constraints and surrounded by opportunities that align with your highest purpose. Feel the joy, peace, and gratitude that come with this reality. Let the emotions flood your being. This practice is not just a mental exercise, it is a way of shifting your vibration to match the wealth you seek. Gratitude is not limited to your thoughts, it must be an active expression in your daily life. Speak words of thanks for the abundance already present. Even the smallest blessings deserve acknowledgement because they create momentum. When you give thanks for what you have, no matter how modest it may seem, you affirm to the universe that you are open to receiving more. The millions you desire are simply an extension of this gratitude, an amplification of the abundance you already recognize. Gratitude also transforms your relationship with money. Many people view money through the lens of fear, scarcity, or guilt. These emotions repel wealth and keep it at a distance. Gratitude, however, creates a sense of harmony and flow. When you are thankful for every dollar, you shift from seeing money as a struggle to viewing it as a tool for growth, joy, and purpose. This change in perspective removes resistance and allows money to circulate freely in your life. Gratitude raises your vibration to a level where wealth becomes inevitable. Think of your vibration as the signal you send out to the world. A vibration of lack tells the universe you don't have enough, and so you continue to experience scarcity. But a vibration of gratitude tells the universe you already have everything you need and more is on its way. The universe, in turn, mirrors this energy back to you through opportunities, ideas, and financial blessings. In practice, cultivating gratitude can be as simple as starting and ending each day with reflection. In the morning, affirm your gratitude for the abundance that is flowing into your life. Visualize the millions and give thanks for them as if they have already arrived. At night, reflect on the blessings of the day, no matter how small, and feel genuine appreciation for them. This habit rewires your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. Gratitude is also a tool for overcoming challenges. When you face setbacks or delays, gratitude allows you to stay grounded in trust and faith. Instead of falling into fear or frustration, you can give thanks for the lessons and growth that challenges bring. This perspective keeps your vibration high and ensures that even obstacles work in your favor. Understand that gratitude is not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on the good, even amidst imperfection. It is about recognizing the potential for abundance in every moment and every situation. When you live in gratitude, you transcend the limitations of the present and tap into the infinite possibilities of the universe. The millions you desire are not separate from you, they are already a part of your reality, waiting for you to claim them. Gratitude bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. By giving thanks for the wealth you envision, you accelerate its arrival. Your vibration shifts, your mindset expands, and the universe responds. Gratitude is the key to magnetizing wealth. Embrace it, embody it, and watch as your life transforms in extraordinary ways. Persistence in your inner knowing is the cornerstone of manifesting your desires. The outer world often lags behind the inner reality, creating a gap where doubt, fear, and frustration can creep in. But this gap is not a sign of failure, it is a space where faith must take root. The key is to hold unwaveringly to the inner truth that your millions, your dreams, and your abundance are already yours.